And we're
Alright.
recording.
Starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Coco and Moon are here and we are continuing Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
Oh boy, what's with all this excitement? You hardly think this was a courtroom. God doesn't seem very interested in law, that's for sure. It's like they are all just hoping for a guilty verdict. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement.
As you wish, my lord. First, let us begin by recounting the events leading up to the murder. Is that acceptable, Sir Apprentice Baker? You sure you're a prosecutor? You're being way too respectful to Phoenix.
Yeah, right? As you wish. Phoenix, that's not Edgeworth. Don't say such, like, romantic shit.
The murder occurred this very evening. Yesterday, there was heavy rainfall in the area. Eventually, it gave way to sunshine, which came just in time for today's parade. Although a few hours after the parade ending, the rain setting once more.
Must have been when Espella and the others were at the Great Archive.
It continued to rain until just before the incident, which took place on a small path leading to the market. The accused had been out doing some shopping at the market. She returned home on that very same path. And on that forest path, 2 rogues named Robs and Mugs.
They're super dead, so...
Robs and Mugs are said to have accosted the accused. One could assume the accused simply acted in self-defense.
I see. Robs and Mugs. Those two have appeared in court a number of times in the past. 2 rogues, huh?
So far, it may appear that the accused was more the victim. However, the situation soon changed. That's right. The accused, Espella Cantabella, knowingly and mercilessly murdered her 2 assailants.
Isabella.
That girl, isn't she?
I always knew she looked suspicious.
Shh, not so loud.
Yikes. There's that weird excitement again. I believe we now fully grasp what happened. It's getting late already. Let us begin the trial. Inquisitor Bonham, you may now begin.
As you wish, my lord. The Inquisition will now hear eyewitness testimony regarding the night of the murder.
Eyewitness testimony, huh? Looks like this trial is finally getting underway. Can't back down now. I have to fight. I'm just a simple bread-making baker, living a simple bread-making life. The situation is more twisted than a pretzel. I'm smack in the middle of it. Phoenix, that was disgusting. But I have to do this to save Espella. Okay. see if I can untwist this testimony and put this thing to bed. Oops. Ooh?
Allow me to welcome you all. Now, would each of you please state your name and occupation?
Hold it!
Wait a minute. What's going on here?
As I already explained, Sir Apprentice Baker, this is the eyewitness testimony.
Yes, I understand that, but there are 4 witnesses. Indeed, this many people inside the courtroom could pose a health and safety issue. Your Honor, that's not what I meant. Witness testimonies are supposed to be done one by one, as in one witness at a time. Is it me? You have
I
poor
think
fucking
you're
sheep,
Mary.
though.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, child? We'd be here all night if we did that.
That's right, young man. We have witnessed the very fate reached out to us this evening.
Could we hurry this along? Perhaps? These flowers won't sell themselves, as much as my boss wishes they would.
The path to knighthood is an arduous one, but I must remain steadfast in my resolve. As I travel down this long road,
His name is Knightley. Or Knightle? Knightle. A rubber sword.
I shall not falter. I will be victorious.
Who cares? Just question them all at once.
We already know the girl in the cage did it. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, finish this already. I'd like to go back home and get to bed. Witnesses, again, state your names and occupations.
I am known as Wordsmith. But what is a name? How doth one describe an occupation, like the bubbling of a babbling brook? I flow gracefully around the rocks in the breeze. That is life, nary a worry in my mind.
Right, so I guess that means he's jobless. My name is Mary, and this starling kid is Snowy. Snowy and I often travel to the edge of town to sell delicious fresh milk. Milk like that doesn't happen overnight. I work my hands to the bone, squeezing each drop out. Literally. That sounds pretty frightening. I'm Kira. I'm a flower seller. If you would be all so kind, feel free to purchase one of my beautiful flowers at any time during the trial. There's no way I'll sell them all by morning. Oh, the life of a flower girl is so hard.
Whatever Aerith wannabe, you'll never match up.
Yeesh. Talk about a hard sell.
My name's Knightley. I aim to join our town's order of knights. I study night and day, though I am still but a mere squire. Joining the Knights of the Inquisition is my life's ambition, and I, Knightley, will do whatever necessary to join. Even kill.
No! So he's jobless too.
Honorable witnesses, I ask that you show this court your best when delivering your testimonies. Now, tell us what exactly you all saw on this ill-fated eve. I love this gimmick. It's my favorite one in the entire series. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated in the air, and a soft light shone faintly in the distance.
Muggs grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground. I heard a faint voice cry out. Next moment, those two villainous men burst into flames.
There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used.
Magic. Sir Apprentice Baker. We now begin your interrogation.
I have but one piece of advice. I suggest you pay it heed. Do not waste the court's time by grilling these witnesses over irrelevant nonsense, Sir Apprentice Baker.
Are you alright, Nick? They sure love calling you an apprentice baker, huh?
I'll be honest with you, Maya. I have no idea how I'm feeling right now. But I know it's all up to me as her defender. Espella's fate is in my hands. I have to believe in her. I need to start believing in myself. I can do this. I believe Espella is innocent, and I'll fight until the end to prove it.
Yeah, that's the spirit. We can do this thing, Nick.
So am I not allowed to press every little thing?
Go ahead and do it, we'll see. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and a soft light shone faintly in the distance.
Hold it!
What time would that be, exactly?
Dinner time? When else would the scent of dinner be in the air if not dinner time? Do you see?
Not so much.
The sun had already set by that time. And that should be adequate.
The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight, is that correct?
I have been dubbed a witness. Thus, I must have clearly witnessed something. Do you see?
No, I don't see anything. In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at the time?
Enough to see the nose on my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see?
No. That doesn't add up. If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't possibly have witnessed anything. Do you see?
Nevertheless, something caught my eye. It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what that sight was!
Okay, I get it. It was ominous.
Ominous! Poor form, Sir Apprentice Baker.
Huh?
I hate to disappoint you, but there was in fact light in the area.
Huh?
Take a look at this. This is a drawing of the crime scene based on the witnesses' accounts, as penned by the court illustrator.
The court illustrator. I've never heard of that before. Look at this photograph!
Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder.
Awfully detailed. An illustration is an illustration of the highest quality, as always.
Now then, we have established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set.
I don't know what the fuck happened just now, but...
But yeah, it's very startling. And
Well-
so, naturally, the defendant was carrying a firelit lantern, as we can see.
Everything is fine, the cat just fell.
Aww, baby.
He's fine. I'm just gonna sit in my lap for a little bit. A lantern.
Eureka indeed! Yes, that is what I was saying earlier.
So you're lying through your teeth again.
It was a lantern, I say.
Oh, please. You totally forgot.
To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but
Did you also alter the autopsy report?
Lord, here's the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area.
Very well. The court accepts this into evidence. The lantern Espella was holding. The glass is broken and is covered in mud. Speaking of which, Inquisitor Bonham, in this drawing, the accused seems to be holding a milk bucket of sorts. What became of this?
That is a strange case indeed, my lord. That bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene.
Milk bucket disappeared, you say?
There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought they often make off with the items they found on the ground.
Great, wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me to never set foot in that forest.
Oh, this is great, Nick. We've got new evidence now.
Huh, yeah, I guess you're right.
You know, Nick, you really don't look like just some normal, run-of-the-mill baker. I'd say you're more like a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. I think you might just have a knack for being a defender.
There's a clear contradiction somewhere in that testimony, and I'm going to find it. Ignores my
And
wholesale.
in Miles' comments.
Yeah. Muggs grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground.
Hold it!
Sheep does not like that. Muggs was one of the two rogues, is that correct? That's right. That man, he grabbed the girl's arm and pulled out a knife. Is something wrong? Or was it Robs that grabbed the girl and had the knife? Huh? Oh dear, now let me see. Muggs was the short one, Robs was the... No. I think it was the other way around. Huh. Well, it doesn't really matter which was which now, it does it. That poor fucking sheep. That's all well and good, but I was kind of just hoping you'd testify about the lantern.
Honorable witnesses, please continue with your testimonies.
I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those two villainous men burst into flames.
Hold it!
Exactly whose cry did you hear? Well, it was the accused. It was Espella's voice, of course. And did you get a good look at Miss Cantabella's face? Yes, I mean, she was carrying that huge lantern after all. You're only sure because all the other witnesses just finished saying they saw her with the lantern.
There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used.
I don't know, dude. There was a lantern in the area. Doesn't that have fire in it, you dumb fucking piece of shit?
What's a lantern?
Isn't it a bit premature to assume it was magic?
What an absurd statement.
Say what?
Think about it. The knaves were engulfed in flames in the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye. There was not a single trace of any other fire source to be found in the area. Not a trace.
Did I hear that right? I think I just found a contradiction in this testimony.
Let's do this thing, Nick. Hurry up and present something. Hit him with some decisive evidence.
Espella was carrying a lantern at the time of the murder. That fact definitely contradicts a certain witness's testimony.
That's right, but... even if we know what the contradiction is, where do we go from there? I mean, what can we do? We're just a couple of bakers, after all.
No, Maya, I think you're wrong.
Huh?
I don't know why, but I feel like I know how to do this. If you're going to speak up in court, there's only one thing that people will listen to, and that's evidence. You just have to try and present evidence whenever there's a contradiction in one of the testimonies.
Okay, Nick. Let's give their testimonies another listen.
Shut up, sir.
Oh.
Present. Look at this photograph.
Objection!
Dot 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 dot. Dot dot dot. Dot 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 dot. What is the matter, defender? Dot dot dot.
He just freezes there for like 10 minutes.
What is this feeling?
So sudden and new.
I felt the moment I laid eyes on you. I just felt the ears to shout right from the bottom of my lungs while pointing my finger. Objection! I can't help but feel that's a word I've used quite a bit in the past. That's it. I remember now. I remember everything. I was a baker who shouted a lot. The Legal League of Attorneys exchange, Espella's trial, and then that strange book. This feeling. I feel like I can take on the world. Witness!
What's with the setting pointing? I am a soon-to-be member of the Honorable Knights of the Inquisition. I accept your challenge. Have at you.
You say that no fire was present at the scene of the trial. At the scene of the trial? At the scene of the crime. There's a lot of fire at the scene of the trial. Look at all those fucking candles.
I'm on fire!
I'm on fire! Meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that's not the case.
What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker?
What I mean is that the defendant was, in fact, carrying a lantern containing fire. The two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside that lantern. That is the only logical explanation. Oh, I get it.
Hmm?
In the illustration of the two guys that were mugging her, Rob's had the knife. Muggs didn't have a weapon per se, but he had a bottle. But the bottle might have been full of alcohol, which is flammable.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have broken when they all got freaked out
Ooh.
and lit by the lantern.
My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker.
What do you mean?
The only logical explanation Do you agree with the statement, honorable witnesses? It is presumptuous for a man that knows nothing to claim that he knows something, about which he really knows nothing.
So you? Ah. Besides, how could one teeny tiny flame be strong enough to set them both ablaze like that? There were two of them. How could that flame engulf them so fast? Ah.
Furthermore, if they did burn as you claimed that they did, do you mean to suggest that they were soaked in oil or something?
Oh.
Well, Sir Blue Knight, it would seem that you have bitten off more than you can chew.
Oh, honey. You're in for a fucking storm. Ow. Definitely didn't see that coming.
What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts on the proceedings thus far?
Give the testimony as we have heard it. This court has come to its conclusion. 'Twas a truly gruesome and merciless act, an act for which only one thing could be held responsible. A nefarious crime of magic. Fucking horse hockey, you dumb cunt. Wait a second! Is there something you have forgotten to mention, Defender? Not exactly, Your Honor. It's just that, I mean, you just said magic. That can't be right, can it?
What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Such is the way of this world, is it not?
Well, yeah. That may seem to be the case. But no way is it actually possible. Oh, Feeny, you are literally stuck in a book. Come on, bud. This court finds Espella Cantabella, the accused, charged of being a witch. Espella? A witch?
A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself.
The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense indeed. As such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death by fire.
No, you're wrong. I'm not a witch.
Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately.
Objection!
But there's no evidence to prove that any magic was really used.
Put a sock in its bread, boy! We all heard her cast the spell.
Huh? That's right! Snowy and I heard it. Isn't that right, precious? We heard that incantation quite clearly. Oh, that frightening voice. There's no mistaking it. It was Espella's voice. Ah.
These ears do not lie. I clearly heard an incantation most sinister. Ignize, it went.
Incantation?
Ignize.
It's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy otherworldly court.
Well then, it would seem the defense has no further objections.
It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they each heard an incantation being recited. This court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer.
Nick, you have to do something.
I know, but what exactly can we say? Here, in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless.
This court is ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Espella Cantabella.
Hold it.
Your Honor, I request that the court hold its verdict a moment longer.
What? What is the meaning of this intrusion?
I have something I believe will be of use to the defense. A weapon of sorts.
That's...
The Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages. Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
the Grand Grimoire.
We meet again, Miss... Wait.
Yep.
We'd meet again, Mr. Wright. Well now, it seems things are already afoot here. Although the real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared?
So, are you here to help us?
Of course! The professor always helps people in trouble. It is the duty of every gentleman. Right, Professor?
Professor?
There's a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There's a time for words and a time for actions.
Right.
You have been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I'm still a little mystified. I'd have expected you to be more familiar with this world and its system of magic.
Yeah, how can I put this? Guess that's not quite the full story.
Is that so?
Kind of had an epiphany just now. I remembered all sorts of things. Like how I'm not actually a baker. And well, how magic can't really exist.
Then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are not, in fact, a citizen of this town, is that correct?
Right. At least it seems that way.
However, for now, we have no option but to accept this world and its rules as a reality. Without first understanding those rules, I'm afraid you will not have been able to save Miss Cantabella.
But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe.
I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such a truth cannot be denied.
Ah.
Indeed, that is why the Grand Grimoire is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment, you are tantamount to a knight without a sword. That's not how you hold a sword, my dude.
I feel more like an attorney without a chance, actually.
Right then, Mr. Wright. I'll explain how the Grand Grimoire works. Have a look at the touchscreen. There you'll see the Grand Grimoire button. Touching the Grand Grimoire button will open up the Grand Grimoire.
You will be able to present spells from the Grand Grimoire in much the same way you would present evidence. This book will surely be a most important asset for us in this trial.
Oh, that reminds me. I've gone ahead and bookmarked Spell Ignite for you.
Spell Ignite has been bookmarked in the Grand Grimoire. Ignate's Inferno spell summons a circle of flame with a 1 meter radius of the within a 1 meter radius of the caster. Requires an incantation and a scepter to cast. Oh, you mean like the things that you didn't have?
Ignaze. That's the magic spell all the witnesses said they heard, right? Nick, you should take a look at that spell.
All I have to do is touch the Grand Grimoire button, huh? The defender has been given more than enough time. It would seem this trial has reached its end. Oops.
Is that understood, Sir Apprentice Baker? This case is quite straightforward. Very little room for doubt. The witness's testimony, coupled with the illustration of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear what must have occurred. This murder was the result of magic. And furthermore, the caster of said magic was none other than the accused. That, Sir Apprentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the courtroom have crumbled.
Ah,
Is everything all okay, Mr. Wright?
yeah.
It would seem that photographs do not exist in this world.
Photos don't exist? I guess that makes sense, ye old time period and all.
The sketch drawn by the court illustrator. Therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright.
My final chance.
I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony. However, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration.
There's another contradiction. In that case, there's still hope that I can turn this around.
Mr. Wright, you have to hurry! Look, the judge! He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now.
This is it. This is my last chance. What should I do? Find out the contradiction.
Hold it!
1 second, Your Honor. The defense requests permission to have another look at the court illustration. I think there might be a contradiction in there.
Objection!
You are already out of time.
No, you.
All testimony and evidence given thus far has been proving to be accurate.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure, Inquisitor Barnum. Just one thing you've overlooked. A piece of evidence within this book. The Grand Grimoire.
Absurd. I overlooked something. You are the defender here. You should have examined the tomb earlier.
You're right. I should have. But unfortunately, I was nothing but a simple baker until just now.
Interesting. You've certainly begun to show your true colors, Sir Blue Knight. Let us see what type of knight you truly are. Have at you!
The defender will now show us this supposed contradiction. Court illustration and the Grand Grimoire. Where there's a contradiction between those two, and I've got to find it. This is my last chance. Defender, use this magnifying glass to locate the point of relevance, and reveals to the court the location of this contradiction. Well, Ignace would have just consumed all of them. She also doesn't have a wand, but I don't know which one to present exactly.
You're right with the latter. With the latter, line of thinking.
Like, so no wand?
Yes.
Okay, which hand should I select, though?
The
Here?
land with the... yeah.
Present that as the contradiction.
Mm-hmm.
Got it!
contradiction is right here. The hand of the accused. She seems to be holding a lantern.
What is your point?
According to this tome, using the spell Ignaze requires the use of the witch's scepter, as well as an incantation. Isn't that right?
Correct. For witches to use magic, they must be in possession of a witch's scepter, also known as a telea magica.
If that's the case, then there's one thing that doesn't add up. Take another look at Miss Cantabella's hands. Tell me, do you see a witch's scepter in either of her hands?
I think you probably could have presented either then. Maybe you could have presented either.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's see you point that sword at me now.
You did it, Mr. Wright. But wasn't that contradiction just a little too obvious?
You may be right, Luke.
Eh?
It would certainly appear that the good Inquisitor is taking this particular oversight rather too well. That is correct, Sir Apprentice Baker, but you should not underestimate me.
Huh?
This is perhaps your first time seeing this item, is it not? Right here is the very scepter you mentioned. One of the witnesses found it tossed in the shrubbery on the side of the path. Oh, yes, indeed, that was I! I located it! My feet found themselves ensnared in the blasted thing, and it sent me flying through the air.
You fucking human teardrop, I'm gonna fucking pile drive you. Somehow I'm not surprised to hear you fell, Gramps. That scepter does seem to carry a most sinister air.
Indeed, my lord. However, this scepter will only work well in the hands of a witch, with the incantation being said aloud. Aw, that's too bad. I wanted to try lighting some stuff on fire. Maya.
Please don't look at me when you say that.
You see, there are 2 magic gems set in this scepter. This place is so big, I could just imagine that when Maya said that, it echoed and everyone just turned to look at her.
They're like, witch!
Witch!
Oh, God. Okay, wait. That's gonna have to be it for us. We're gonna end this episode right here.
Thank you folks for watching.
And see you next time. Bye!
Bye!